Velma logged into the sector's Arachne node and went through the area scan reports. The sector had been evacuated with a fake radiation alert, and the Tunguska security team had just deployed to investigate into some suspicious readings from the surveillance system. The interventor had seen action before, and she did not like the situation. Nothing was clearly wrong, as you would expect from common criminal activities, and yet not masked in a way you would expect from human sphere superpowers. Velma kept close to her fire team. The backup of trusted marksmen and cold-blooded hackers made her more at ease. Remotes and cyber psychopaths were for sure valuable and expendable assets, but she would have never come to fully trust them. Suddenly, all alarms went blipping, smoke and white noise interference appeared, and few moments later she heard the doors of the safe room opening with a hiss. There were no doubts, they were under attack, and once again she had to do the dirty job to protect secrets of people who would have traded her life without thinking twice if they had considered it convenient. Now that she thought about it, this whole operation might just be a rigged game. Hello, and welcome to a Tales of Miniatures and Dice Infinity Battle Report. This is a little experiment to produce a video in the format Robert Shepard does. We all like very much and look up to his videos. I personally learned quite a bit about the game watching those. Even if I don't have as much insight into the game as he does in terms of strategy and competitive game experience, I thought to give it a go. We played a fun and entertaining game, and we hope it can stimulate some thoughts about the game and about what to do, and even more importantly, what not to do in some situations. The mission was the Armory from ITS Season 15 with standard 300 points list. So let's have a look at those lists. So for Tunguska Jurisdictional Command, we have a Harris fire team, Fiddler, Vostok, and Chirkila, and a puppet bot and a puppet master and two puppet bots. So these are supposed to be like fast and resilient, attack vectors that can benefit from Evo hacker buffs and can also be fixed by an engineer. Then we have a Salute Evo hacking device. In this mission particularly, it grants an additional order, and well, the list also is built, as mentioned, to leverage some of the synergies with the Evo hacking. Then we have 3 Zellenkriegers, the Dan McConnelly character, and 2 standard ones, those warband troopers with smoke and good close combat. They also are structure based, so they can be fixed by engineer as well. A Woko, because I had 3 points left. And in group 2, we have a 5-man link team with the mandatory Securitate. In this case, I opted for the Feuerbach for some additional long range firepower. A Rounder for the NCO goodness and also the high burst and marksmanship as well. So speaking about marksmanship, we also have a Grenzer multi-sniper rifle and then 2 hackers, the Interventor Lieutenant hacking device plus as well as the killer hacking device one. So the list is not really fully optimized. You see no missile bot, and of course it has an obvious lieutenant. So it has some, weaknesses into it, but I think it's fairly competitive and allows to play, fun game. For sure, it has its own strong points, but yeah, you could definitely further optimize it. Let's have a look at the Shasvastii force. We also have a 3-man link team with Shiskin, Jaith, and Victor Messer. This is also, solid attack, utility link, tasks, for sure to storm and hold the objective room. For sure, the list is built around the Jyth. So my opponent is really fond of this trooper and wants to make them work. I also hear a lot that they're really not that optimal in terms of cost. And yeah, this choice actually really forced him to really build the list around it. And so I could have made my more optimal choices, but still, strong close combat piece with mimetism -6. So can for sure shine in this mission specifically. A couple of Calibans, one with chain of command for some redundancy and risk mitigation, taking such an aggressive lieutenant as Shiskin is. Edron for the same Evo hacker bonus of the mission. Hajduk for some multispectral visor and long-range firepower. Q-drone, well, this is a total reaction plasma bot, so pretty good. Speculo killer, mandatory in Shasvastii, I would say, and then some, let's say, cheaper option to trade with templates and also some good close combat option there with 2 Ikadrons and 2 Taigas to round up the list. So deployment, Shasvastii actually won the initiative and elected to go first. Tunguska then opted, of course, to deploy second. So the Shasvastii player spent a command token to keep 2 troopers in reserve, particularly the Speculo and one of the 2 Calibans. So first of all, we deploy the turrets. The Nomads one goes here, proxied by a fast panda, and the Shasvastii one goes here. I think it was an Etrod at the time, but anyways, Shasvastii HVT goes here. It's actually hidden by this tower scenery piece. The Hajduk multi-sniper deploys on this rooftop. He actually has good, line of sight, basically around the objective room. So of course, not knowing what the Nomad's deployment was, this looked like a good enough idea. Then 2 Ikadrons, 2 Taigas, 1 for each side. The Q drone goes here, E drone hidden somewhere in the back line, and the Caliban just to the on the edge of the exclusion zone. Finally, the fire team goes here, ready to surge towards the room. So on Nomad side, we place the HVT on this side. Then the 4-man fire team goes here, the Granzer on the rooftop, Securitate guarding this alleyway, or access point to the objective room, Rounder here, and the Interventor with killer hacking device. So I keep the Interventor Lieutenant as a reserve because I'm a bit concerned about, Speculo or impersonators. So anyways, the 4-man team is good enough, and then I will see where to drop the lieutenant later on. Puppet Master prone on the rooftop, and then the 2 puppet bots here. The Vostok Harris goes here with, the Vostok I, put in here with some line of sight into the room. In the end, 2 wounds, armor 5, immunity, 2 AP, and Fiddler hanging close to it should be survivable enough. Then we have the Zellenkriegers, 1 on each side, and then Mahir in the middle. As a meta chemistry, this one rolled movement 6-4 and super jump, and then Denma and the other one, they rolled physical +3. So they actually throwing smoke on 19s within 8 inches and dodging on 16s. So not too bad as a metachemistry roll, if you ask me. Salute goes here, Woko on the rooftop, and then after some careful deliberation, the Speculo does not infiltrate and goes to provide smoke support to the breaching team somewhere here, and the Caliban drops here on the rooftop. In response to this, as there is no impersonation threat in my deployment zone, I drop the interventor lieutenant in here, and I form finally a 5-man team for that +1 ballistic skill, which can't be bad. And off we go, ready to start the game. So first of all, impetuous orders. The Taigas move forward, one I think through here, the other one through here. It's not so easy actually to get line of sight. These are like small silhouette one pieces, and actually these scenery elements, they're providing quite some cover, and then I think they're also quite successful in dodging. So nothing really happens there. The Icadron also spend their own irregular, particularly the one which is in the small combat group. He also moves through here, and the other one also advances down here. After that, the rest of the turn is really spent in careful maneuvering to get into the room. So the Speculo drops smoke here, and Victor Messe also drops white noise. So we have effectively a eclipse equivalent zone here that allows this 3-man team to move towards the room without triggering any ARO. Then the Speculo moves again. I think he positions somewhere here, and also drops a smoke in front of the door before, of course, the door is opened. And this happens just an order later. Victor Messe opens the door, and but yeah, everything is covered by smoke template. And so the Shiskin team is able to get into the room and position inside. I think they also place a few deployables, and they just get ready to sustain the assault of the nomads. Here we can see them just getting into the room. You see here the smoke template, which basically half of it is inside the room, and so they are actually able to position without triggering any ARO. I think as last orders to conclude the turn, of course, also the Q drone moves in here, partial cover with a nice line of sight through here. And then he actually needs to reposition the Hajduk because he doesn't want to fight the Grenzer on the other side. And of course, he doesn't want to do it in the reactive turn, even less. So what he elects to do is to move it on this side to get better fights against other troopers. But as it does this, actually triggers the reaction of the turret, and with a lucky critical hit on a 7, actually the Hajduk goes unconscious. And this is a bit of an unlucky event for the Shasvastii player, who would have for sure make good use of the multi-sniper rifle with visor also later in the game. But yeah, that was a lucky shot from the turret that put it unconscious. And this actually ends Shasvastii turn 1. So in Tunguska, turn 1, the Zellenkriegers, they move forward, of course, with the impetus orders. This one tries to move here and throw smoke, but Shiskin actually kills it. Shooting from here, and so he goes down. This other one moves through here and is able to place this smoke template like almost here, but unfortunately the 8 inches are not sufficient to actually cover the line of sight of the Q drone, who can still see through here. So not really super effective. And so Denma decides to try anyways. But of course I forgot that it was actually a total reaction. And so 3 dice versus 1, and also Denma goes down. I think goes unconscious here. And yeah, at the time I think I overlooked that they actually had a structure and they could be fixed by Fiddler. And this was a bit of a yeah, that could have made a big difference in the game. But Denma is unconscious and will remain unconscious for the rest of the game. So the Salute then runs assisted fire on the puppet bot, and they go to assault the room from this side here. They engage Shiskin. I mean, the AP, marksman rifle, good range, +1 burst, and also marksmanship, but they fail. They fail, actually lose a wound or a structure, and they basically, the assault is stopped. And then also, yeah, the team is also in zone of control of the others, and Victor Messe also dodges. They place more deployables, so the situation is not getting better. So at this point, I basically decide to trade the Zellenkrieger, who was hanging around here. So he moves again to here without any without any ARO, because still remaining out of line of sight behind this billboard here. And then this was his own irregular, and with one more regular basically goes in silhouette contact with Messer and kills him in close combat. Of course, as he does it, he dies because of the Ikadron flamethrower, because of Jythe shooting at him, Shiskin shooting, so everybody shoots to him, and he dies, but he's able to kill Messer. This is good, so I don't have any more hacking threat in the room. And I can go back with the puppet bots. But again, no luck. One puppet bot dies, and the other one with the boarding shotgun comes through here, and finally also goes to trade with the boarding shotgun to put a template on both the Jythe and Shiskin, but he also dies and just puts a wound on Shiskin. And so this is the end of the puppet bots, and with really very limited effectiveness. I would have hoped they were able to do more damage, but in the end, he spiked many armor rolls, he spiked many face-to-faces, and so I was there, and yeah, I still needed to clean the room. So with all the orders in group 1 expanded, I had to go to group 2. So thanks to NCO goodness and 5 more orders, I was able to walk the fire team through here, led by the rounder, all through here, picking out, killing the turret without suffering any casualty. It took me 2 orders, but I finally managed. And then I got a good position through here, and the rounder is then able to kill Shiskin as well as the Jythe. So with the last order, I managed to clean the room, but I end up pretty exposed. We can see here the team. You see, this is the rounder. I think it's proxied by a Zone Nautica guy. And yeah, the interventor killer hacking device here. This is the Securitate with Feuerbach and the Grenzer. So they are now pretty exposed, overstretched, if you let me say that, but that was my only chance to actually clean the room and keep the score 0-0. End of turn 1. Shasvastii, turn 2, of course, new turn and new assault to the room. First problem they need to solve is this fire team here, which is occupying this zone. So pretty easy. He walks the Icadron forward. Here I make a mistake. Instead of just accepting and trading with the Grenzer and losing, let's say, a single element in the team and keeping the team, let's say, still okayish, I decide to dodge because I want to save the Grenzer. The Grenzer dodges for the first, so comes back to here. But then the Icadron even more happily actually walks more forward, and this time is able to put the template not only on the Grenzer but also on the on Interventor. And this time, of course, I kill the Icadron, but he kills both the Grenzer and the Interventor. So my fire team now is 2 men. And yeah, so I lose the burst bonus. And this is basically the end for the fire team. So he moves back in the room and removes also the rounder in the process who was hanging here in the wind. So also the rounder is gone. There is the only survivor from the fire team is the Securitate hanging here with its Feuerbach. Caliban, Speculo, and the Q drone, they all walk into the room. Yeah, I know we got it wrong. These are supposed to be narrow gates, so only Silhouette 2 and smaller can walk in. But yeah, we let also the Q drone to walk in. And this is basically the end of Shasvastii turn. He again has 3 troopers, the Speculo, the Q drone, and the Caliban inside the room. So Tunguska turn 2, I lost quite a bit of models, but in reality, because most casualties were really impetus, irregulars, the puppet bots, so group 1 still has a decent order pool, also considering that I'm moving the interventor lieutenant to group 1 using a command token. So I have enough order to do some damage, and it's time for the Vostok Harris to do some work. He engages the Q drone, he has clear line of sight through the door here, and fails to damage it. Amazing armor rolls once again, so not a good start once again. So I'm really frustrated at this point, but I managed to remain somehow focused, and I decide to instead move the interventor lieutenant who was left behind by the fire team and walk him or her through here. Actually, I think I had to go as far as here. I was still out of line of sight, and I was able from here to carbonite the Q drone, who is now immobilized, and I finally can kill it with the Vostok. So this was nice hacking game. The Securitate with Feuerbach tries to move to here 4 inches to get a shot, ideally on the Speculo, who is hiding here, but it's not enough. There is not a clean line of sight because this thing here is blocking, and so yeah, unfortunately I cannot shoot it. And again, now I'm a bit short on orders, and the room is, there are still too many people in the room, and so I decided to yeah, get Fiddler and team in there. So yeah, the Vostok has actually walked through here. Fiddler did the same. They basically here in the end they get into the room, as I was hoping that no wound incap and the high armor would have let me survive. They managed to yeah, to effectively remove um, the Caliban, and the Specul also goes unconscious, but they die. Both the Vostok and Fide, they both die because of the Ikadron flamethrower. That continuous damage is really a big threat, and I underestimated it. So I say, okay, at least we are 0-0 because nobody's occupying the room, but the Speculo in this corner actually makes its regeneration roll and stands up. And this scores 2 points for Shasvastii. At this point, I really think I lost the game. So turn 3, at this point of the game, Shasvastii are really low on orders because they basically lost all or yeah, a lot of their forces. So what they can really do is just to reshuffle a little bit and extract the panoply, or actually extract the box from the panoply, and then there is not really much more they can do. And at this point, for Tunguska turn 3, well, actually here is where the Securitate with Feuerbach pays off, because moving 4 more inches from down here is actually able to draw line of fire to the Speculo and explodes it with a shot of Feuerbach. And this time, it goes to dead, and there is no more regeneration on that hole. So this is a nice start of turn 3. And the room is basically clear at the moment, and so the Interventor Lieutenant as well as the Cheer Killer, they're able to walk into the room and secure it and extract also 2 boxes from the panoply. And so this actually makes it a 5-2 victory for Tunguska and the end of the game. So this was yeah, close game, like a lot of casualties on both sides. I thought I was going to lose, then I thought I could actually win. Then we had spikes in the armor rolls face to face that went a bit in different directions. And I mean, all in all, very entertaining game, close game, and yeah, like good fun. Velma stood in the safe room surrounded by the mauled bodies of nomads and Shasvastii, thin curls of smoke rising from the charred remains of the Vostok remote. The few survivors met her in the room and started to investigate the bodies of the enemies and what had been extracted from the safe room. As she looked into the data storage modules, her lips twitched in a bitter smile. Deep inside herself, she had hoped they were fighting to protect precious encrypted information, but reality was those data were garbage. Just a bait, a minor event in a much larger game that was being played. Velma knew she was a pawn, but having it so crudely remarked still hurt. Without spending more words, she nodded to her teammates and walked away. That action report was not going to write by itself, and she'd rather be quickly done with it.